Let's begin. Hello and welcome. This is Dustin Guinee, and you've arrived at Open Minds, Open Hearts. And today we'll be doing a rain meditation for becoming mindful of racial equity. And rain meditation stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. And so it's a really powerful technique to address our thoughts, feelings, emotions around different topics, particularly maybe difficult topics around race, racism, privilege, prejudice. This meditation is for white, black, brown, for all people, as really this technique can be applied to where you're coming from and how you're experiencing race in your own life and through your collective life, through your community. And ultimately, I think it's a powerful technique for self-healing, for being mindful of our thoughts and feelings, being aware of areas that bring us discomfort, and instead of trying to brush that discomfort under the rug, really just taking a moment to be with any discomfort that may arise when we think about race or racism, because it can be a very heavy topic and it can often be something that we want to brush under the rug, but it's important that we bring our mindful awareness to these topics so that we can heal those areas in our heart and in our mind. So let's go ahead and get started with a few deep breaths. And just remember, as we do our meditation today, if you ever feel uneasy or agitated, you can always come back to your breath to center and ground yourself. So let's do a deep breath in through the nose, filling up the diaphragm, and release. Releasing through the mouth, letting that air just easily flow. And deep breath in through the nose, filling up the diaphragm, and release. Releasing through the mouth, letting the belly decompress. And deep breath in, filling up the diaphragm, and release. So as we begin our rain meditation, the first step of rain is to recognize what is coming up for us in this moment. When we reflect upon race, racism, prejudice, privilege, all the permutations of racism, as we reflect upon all these different aspects, perhaps there's elements of racism or privilege, white privilege, that makes us uncomfortable, makes us uneasy. For white people, maybe the term white fragility comes up. Maybe that's agitating. Whatever is coming up for you, just recognize that and just be with that thought or feeling for a moment. You know, for Black, brown, people of color, there may be feelings of feeling tired, overwhelmed, frustrated, angry, sad. There may also be positive emotions that are attributed to your racial or ethnic identity, elements of your Blackness or brownness that you're proud of, that give you joy and purpose. So whatever's coming up for you, positive or negative, just recognize that thought, that feeling. In the second step of RAIN, we allow that thought or feeling to just be here with us now. To not brush it under the rug, to not pretend like it's not a problem. If it's coming to the surface now, there's probably a reason why it's coming to the surface. It's probably something that you need to address. Meditation is like a smooth lake, and these thoughts and feelings that we repress come to the surface to come into the light of our awareness. Because through the light of awareness, through acknowledging the presence of these difficult thoughts or feelings, we're then able to go through that process of healing. So just allow that to be. And you can think of your thoughts and feelings, rather than identifying them as part of you, you can think of them as guests in your guest house. Whether it's anger, fear, doubt, worry, or positive emotions, joy, happiness, gratitude. Rather than identifying, think of them as a visitor that has come to your home. You've invited them in for tea, and you're just listening. You're just having a conversation. Like a wise parent or grandparent, you're just giving that person space, that thought, that feeling, space to express itself, to be heard. So we are allowing for space for this thought or feeling to tell us what it needs to tell us. And as we allow this thought or feeling, our next step in RAIN is to investigate where we're feeling this emotion or thought in our bodies. So rather than analyzing who said what or the history of this thought or feeling, it's not about understanding the origin of the thought or feeling. It's about understanding where this thought or feeling is manifesting right now inside of our bodies. If somebody made a hateful comment or hateful action, we may feel our heart tense up. If we feel tongue-tied when speaking about issues of race, we don't want to say the wrong thing. We may feel our throat or our tongue start to swell up, to go cold, to constrict. So where is this thought or feeling arriving in your body? Where is that showing up? Maybe tension and stress in your shoulders. And if you'd like, you could put a hand or two on that part of your body. And really just feel into that tension, that stress, putting a loving hand over that part of the body. Which leads us to the fourth step of rain, which is to nurture. To nurture with a motherly presence, a nurturing energy. We nurture that part of our body that may be in pain. We nurture that part of our mind that may be in dis-ease. We nurture that part of our soul that may be suffering. We nurture with non-judgmental awareness. Through the light of awareness, we shine upon our suffering. And the grip of that suffering is loosened. For some, it may dissolve completely. For others, it may linger. It may take many meditation sessions to work on some of those areas of suffering that need nurturing. But we're bringing that non-judgmental, loving, compassionate awareness to ourselves right now, to our experience with race, racism, privilege. Regardless of your color, culture, or creed, we have all been impacted by these systems, by these constructs. And so we're nurturing ourselves and perhaps even reflecting on forgiveness for those that have perpetrated wrongs against us. Not to absolve them of their transgressions, but really forgiveness is a tool for self-healing. And by not holding that anger, hate, negative will towards another, it frees us up to be more fully authentic, to love more fully. So forgiveness may be a part of our nurturing practice. But know that in this space, in this time right now, you are free. You are connected to your source, to your creator, to your universe, to yourself. You're doing the work of healing ill will, perceptions towards different racial groups, or maybe towards our own selves, maybe towards our own racial group. We're doing the deep work, listening to our hearts, listening to our bodies, healing from the ills of racism in our society. And I'd like to close with a poem that I've written entitled "Learn from Our Past." How can I be fully present if I'm chained to the past? living in a construct of corrupted racial castes. We seek connection across a divide that feels so vast, doomed to repeat this wrath if we don't learn from our past. We are all one, originated from the same ancestors on the African plains, 99.9 genetically the same, yet we are not treated the same. Constructs of race, designed to conquer and divide, enslaving Black bodies, imprisoning us all from the inside. This sense of superiority that massacred the indigenous, seeking freedom on stolen land from our collective wickedness. The blood of the slave master runs in my veins. For that, I am disgusted and ashamed. In that same colonist's skin that committed these most egregious sins. Let that sink in. Don't turn away from the truth of the past. If we don't learn our lessons, we're doomed to repeat this wrath. Because white supremacy and privilege are not just in the past, they're in the present. And I presently have a choice to cry victim in my victim mentality, claim woe is me, bury my head in the sand and wait till we're all free, or see that I am a change agent. Yes, these sins of the past were flagrant, but I will not let my present reality fall victim to a tragedy so blatant. I can't remain complacent. Let us heal the pain and agony. I will fight to be an anti-racist ally till we're regarded as one family. That means I'll be fighting till my dying breath. But at least I can tell my grandchildren I worked for justice and equality till I had nothing left. When I meditate, I conceive it. When I breathe in, I believe it. That we're all interconnected, but do you see it? What do you believe? Do you believe the lies and disinformation, the racist narratives that have been passed down from generation to generation? Or are you ready to deprogram these scripts on the path to liberation? I'm actively breaking those shackles, consciously entangling the web of lies that have trapped us as a nation and stunted our emancipation. Hurt people, hurt people. And I choose to hurt no one. To practice non-harm, a new beginning has begun. Each breath a chance to begin again, shifting my perception. See an enemy as a friend. Walk a mile in your shoes, hear your stories, sway to your blues. Aware of my white fragility, quiet my ego and practice humility. I share the skin of those that sin, but I'm ready to heal and make amends. Because we are one. Rays of light from one sun, waves of one sea, but none of us are free till all of us are free. You see, how can I be fully present if I'm chained to the past? Living in a construct of corrupted racial castes. We seek connection across a divide that feels so vast, doomed to repeat this wrath if we don't learn from our past. So I'm learning. Please be patient with me. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Hey there, friend. If you enjoyed that session and would like to join me in real time, then go to openhearts.org and sign up for my free classes the first and third Wednesday of each month at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I'd love to meet you in person via Zoom online for these sessions. Also, on my website, you can find past guided meditations. You can find my training sessions where I go deeper into the science and mindfulness practices around this content. You'll find my poetry for meditation, original music, and a variety of other resources to guide you on your meditation and mindfulness practice. So go to openmindsopenhearts.org, sign up, and I hope to see you at the next session.